Thanks for having me. This is my first time at a summit like this, so I figure I'd give a quick introduction to who I am and who the Bouqs are, just kind of start things off. So I started my career spending 10 years as the world's most mediocre salesperson. I wear that with pride. I learned a lot, but I was not the best at the job. So midway through my career, I had a friend that actually owned a real estate agency in Chicago, and I convinced him to let me run Google Ads for his business. And I then I was able to pivot my career. I've spent the last 9 years really becoming an expert running performance marketing for direct-to-consumer brands in the e-commerce vertical of the gifting space. Very, very specific, but it means a lot to me. I love working for brands where when my brand touches a customer, we make their day better than it was before we had that interaction. And so that means a lot to me. The Bouqs definitely fits into that space. The Bouqs got their start about 12 years ago. 10 years ago, they were featured on Shark Tank, which really gave us a lot of visibility. What we do is we're an online flower delivery company, and our niche, our vertical and differentiation is that we send flowers from responsibly sourced farms in South America direct to our consumer's doorstep in North America. That allows us to have a fresher product that lasts a little bit longer. Also some more interesting stems because unlike a lot of our competitors, we do not have to justify warehouse space, so we can have a more variety of the stems and the floral bouquets that we provide, making for some more interesting arrangements, and it's been really fun. So I joined the Bouqs about 1 year ago, actually last December. And when I joined the Bouqs, let me see if I can get this to move forward one. There we go. All right, so I joined the Bouqs. The first thing I took a look at was Google Ads because that's where I grew up, that's where I got my start in marketing, that's my wheelhouse, what I'm great at. I was not a huge fan of what I saw. As of December 2022, this is what I walked into. Our cost per clicks were up astronomically. We actually were seeing a 15% cost per click increase in our non-brand keywords. And that was not a one-year thing, that had been going on for several years. We were also seeing decreased control over where our ads were appearing. We were seeing, with Google rolling out Performance Max, we're seeing Google push most people into broad match keywords. I also were seeing our phrase match keywords start to act like broad match keywords, which was not super fun. We also saw a decreased reporting. Anyone that's been in the Google Ads space for a while probably remembers the days when you could go to the search terms report and see which terms triggered your ads. Not so much anymore. So even where we could control and optimize our ads, we had a very small picture and incomplete data set of what we were optimizing to. And we're seeing increased competition in the Google Ads space. We're actually getting hit on two fronts there. We had more competitors in the floral delivery space, and because Google had been pushing all these brands into Performance Max and broad match keywords, we were seeing non-direct competitors show up for our keywords as well. So increased competition, and despite all those things, the Google Ads was still the largest line item in my entire performance marketing budget. So that started setting off some alarm bells. That's not a great spot to be in. We had a lot of risk having all of our eggs in that basket, and I was specifically hired to help grow the brand in a profitable way. And so I knew I had some increased media investment coming in, and I didn't want to just invest it all in Google Ads, so I was looking for some alternatives where to place those media dollars. So when I thought about it, I really identified 3 key criteria that I needed to be able to leverage to make for a viable alternative for that investment, to not just put it into Google Ads. The first being, we really needed to drive an efficient cost per order. Despite all that was going on with Google Ads, we were still very profitable on that first order. Meaning the expense to get that new customer was still less than the margin we'd make on that order. So I needed to be able to drive that. Otherwise my people in finance would say, hey, just spend more on Google Ads, stop what you're doing over there. We also needed some accurate measurement. Google Ads was really great. It's really easy to understand. I spent this much, I get this many clicks, this many people bought it. Shows up in Google Analytics, really easy for everyone to understand. The Bouqs is a relatively young, very fun company, and we've had a lot of success with micro-influencers, some brand activations and things like that, but they're not measured very well. So I knew if I was going to keep the finance team on my side, I would need to have something that could be accurately measured. And third, and probably most important, I needed something that had the opportunity to scale. We've seen a lot of success of those micro-influencers, smaller campaigns, but we have a small and mighty team at the Bouqs, and I knew I was going to run out of bandwidth very quickly. If I didn't have a tactic that could scale up, I wouldn't be able to run 15 different tactics to make that up. So with that being said, I leveraged connected TV. That seemed like a great fit for meeting those criteria. And I'm going to be a little bit of a fanboy on this slide for a couple of my favorite partners, so bear with me. We selected connected TV. First thing I needed to do was to choose a platform. For that, we chose Mountain. It was actually a really easy choice for me because we'd already been running self-service on Mountain, so I had the data infrastructure set up. I even had some creatives locked and loaded and ready to go within the platform, so I didn't need to contact my creative team, spend money on a shoot to shoot a new TV ad. Really easy. And I also knew from working with Mountain in the past, they'd be able to meet two of those key criteria. First being scale. Mountain works with Hulu, Paramount Plus, Peacock, all the major networks, so that scale would be no issue. And also, they have a really unique approach to measurement that I really like. Most of the upper funnel relies on cookies. We all know that's going away. Mountain actually does this by leveraging IP addresses. So what they do is they'll serve an ad on an Apple TV, a Roku device, and while they're serving that ad, they grab the network IP address. And then later on, they're looking in Google Analytics for a session that has that same IP address, so they can see we exposed this person to an ad, that same household came back to the website later on, and we can attribute those sales to that TV ad. They also leverage that same technology to serve on the programmatic side to reinforce that message. And over time, I found that to be very effective as well. We combine the connected TV ad and the programmatic ad. It's more effective than either on their own, and it's also really cool because by using the IP address of the home network, we can prospect someone, serve an ad to them on their Apple TV, and then serve them a programmatic ad later on their cell phone, hitting that same person and doing so without cookies. And that all feeds right into Google Analytics, so we met the measurement piece of that. That just left that third criteria, which was being able to do so efficiently. We'd done so, we'd been running ads on Mountain at the Bouqs previously. It was okay, but nothing to write home about. And so I enlisted some partners, an agency I'd worked with previously at a previous employer, Neon Pixel. They're a great agency for connected TV. They really specialize in running connected TV specifically on Mountain. They're a very niche agency, but really great at what they do. And so we put them in charge of executing and optimizing our campaigns. They helped us with some consult on the creative we were running. They helped us, they noticed we needed to lengthen our end card. They noticed that we needed to have our URL persistent across the connected TV ads, some little tweaks like that made a huge difference. Also optimizing the campaign to find the right audiences for us. So we had everything locked and loaded, and I just needed to figure out when to run this ad. I took a big gamble, but also probably the biggest chance for success by running this over Mother's Day, because that's when the floral demand is highest of all of the year round. So they would give us the biggest chance of success to convert the most amount of people. And so we had everything locked and loaded. I crossed my fingers, and this is what happened.
A unique bouquet from the Bouqs Company can help you say just the right thing to just the right person. Like, thanks for being the world's best moms. Shop long-lasting Mother's Day bouquets at Bouqs.com.
So that's what ran, and the results that came back definitely exceeded my expectations. And you can tell this slide was put together by a performance marketer, for sure. My brand team would probably not be so happy with what's up here right now. But at the end of the day, we delivered, we exceeded our order target, and I did so under budget. I'll kind of walk you through how this happened. We launched in April early on to create that Mother's Day awareness of our brand, and we exceeded our order target by 8%, came in just 1% over budget. Nobody's going to complain about that because we're, when you're running a big campaign, that's pretty much a bullseye, and we did so more efficiently than we had planned, so great. So we move on to May, and this is where it really matters because that order that's where the demand really comes in. And we exceeded our order target by 7%. Now the thing that sticks out to me on this slide is we're 8% under budget. So what happened that we didn't spend that if it's running efficiently? Well, actually what happened, it had nothing to do with connected TV. We're running out of inventory, and you cannot grow Mother's Day tulips in 3 days. And so I actually had to turn the media off a little bit before Mother's Day. So I would argue that I was not running on media on what would have been my most efficient days of this campaign. So the results I have here are probably not even the full potential of what we can do with connected TV over Mother's Day. So at the end of the day, if I go back to those 3 key criteria, The scale, we exceeded our order target by 8%, so we hit that scale. All the data fed into Google Analytics, I met that measurement piece, and the cost per order at the end of the day came in at 12%, better than expected. So I had a win-win-win. That's 3 things. So I felt really great, but then I thought back to early in my career as a salesperson. I remember several times I turned in a great quarter, a great month or whatever, and then I walked into the office and my manager would be like, that's great, but what have you done for me this month? So I knew I had to keep this going. I had to prove that connected TV was better than just Mother's Day sales. So we continued on, and we've been running connected TV ever since. And this is how the last year has looked. We've continued working with Neon Pixel. They've been great partners to help us tease out other new wins. On the creative side, we've learned that showing peonies is almost always a home run for us. People love peonies. We also identified some really unique audience targeting that I wouldn't have thought. People that buy graduation gifts really over-index on buying flowers is one of the learnings that we've had. But what was the biggest unlock for us is they recommended we start leveraging our first-party data and reactivating some of the customers we had that have moved away from us. And that really kind of supercharged our campaign, whereas connected TV in the past had been a prospecting channel for us. When we started a reactivation campaign, things went through the roof. And you can see July through November, this year compared to last year, our orders are actually up 551%, and we did so by only increasing our budget by 45%. So that's 78% better efficiency than we had last year, which is a huge win for us. So with that, we have plans to increase our scale over the next few holidays. We also just recently signed a creative as a service contract, so we make sure we have the creative and the TV spots to come in. We'll have at least 6 seasonal refreshes so our ads don't go stale. And I'm really excited that we're scaling up not just for Valentine's Day and Mother's Day, but we're also scaling up for holiday. And there's a whole nother test that we have that maybe I'll be able to come back and report on some other time. But this year we are seeing if our holiday ads can drive not just e-commerce purchases, but also fuel our subscription side of the business, which is something we do at the Bouqs. And so here's what we have currently in market this year.
So, you know the one on your gift list who's really difficult to shop for? And what do you give that friend who has, well, everything? The Bouqs Company has all the best finds for everyone on your list. Our flowers last way longer because they're sourced fresh, directly from our eco-friendly farms. Discover flowers, wreaths, mini trees, plants, or thoughtful gift sets to send all your favorite people. Or gift a fresh flower subscription to keep happiness blooming all year long. Take care of all your holiday shopping at Bouqs.com.
And that's what we're running with this year. I can't wait to see how that performs this December. I'm very bullish, though, given the past history that we've had recently over the last year of connected TV. So thanks for your time. At this point, I'll open it up if there are any questions.
That was awesome. Thank you. And anyone have any questions? Oh. You would have to be on the other side of the room, right?
Salil from Uber. Michael, did you see any impact on your search campaigns after scaling up on connected TV?
Yes, we definitely see an increase in our branded search campaigns. That's one of the ways that we can tell that it's working.
Anyone else?
Hey, Michael, Dan from Verizon. You mentioned running into inventory issues for the Mother's Day campaign. Was that due to the audience target you guys were going after?
It was inventory of the number of flowers we had to sell. We were selling out of the flowers.
Oh, okay,
we had.
got
So
it. It wasn't.
It wasn't ad inventory. It was floral inventory.
Got it. Thank you.
There were barren fields and farms in South America.
Anyone else? Oh.
Salil again from Uber. Michael, what kind of attribution did you use for connected TV? Is it first touch, last touch?
We are using last touch currently. We're in the middle of switching to a data-driven attribution model, but for now, yeah, this is all last touch data.
All right. Well, Michael, that was awesome. Thank you so much. Great. Great job.